Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Caribbean Immigrant Podcast. I am your host, Kamala Aaron, from the island of Dominica, and we are coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, as you know, but this is a special episode because this is very, very new. I've never been by myself doing this podcast. So hold on to all your weaves. This may get spicy. I've never been by myself. So this is something very new. But we are doing a recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. What does that have to do with the Caribbean, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you. The Real Housewives of Potomac was in the island of Nevis, and that's in the Caribbean. And that's why this is my Caribbean business. That's why this is my Caribbean business. And I got all the notes for all of the housewives. And by the way, I just want to say, let's start. Let's get into it. I am not above the housewives. Some people try to pretend that I don't watch housewives, I don't watch reality TV, and I am above it all. Bullshit. Bullshit. I am a brilliant woman. I stay in that lane most of the time, but reality TV is delicious. Delicious. And I love it. And I love it even more when they, as a huge international franchise, recognize the place that I call home, which is the Caribbean. When they recognize what it brings to the world and what it can offer a franchise as big as the Real Housewives of Potomac. So I just want to start off by saying I'm not above it at all. Okay? I know some people who are. I know some people who pretend they're closet watchers of reality TV, and I own it. At this big age, I own all the shit. Let me tell you. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. So nobody's going to have to tell me anything about no. I'm not above any of it. I am here for it, especially when they recognize the Caribbean. Okay? So we're going to talk about it on the Caribbean Immigrant. Now, let's start with the amazingness of it all. The amazingness of it all. Like I said, we got all the notes. All the notes for the recap for the 3 episodes, okay, of the Real Housewives of Potomac in the island of Nevis. Now, let's talk about the amazingness of it all. What a thrill. What a thrill to see this cast of season 10, who, by the way, everybody is clocked in. Everybody came to work. Everybody's doing their job. Everybody's actually doing a little too much, but let's not get into all of that. Okay, let's not get into all of that. We're going to try to keep it very much from a Caribbean POV. We're going to give you a perspective that only a Caribbean person can give you. Not, I know a neighbor who used to live in the islands kind of POV. No, a POV that is a real Caribbean POV. Like, I was born there, I grew up there. You can hear the accent still, even if I am very much living in the United States and very much American. I have my heart still in the Caribbean. Always, always will. And I know I speak for all Caribbean people, even with one drop of blood of Caribbean in them. You feel the magic of the Caribbean. And when you see the island, an island like Nevis, just like we saw Grenada on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay? The magic, the pride that you feel when you see these flags that you know, when you hear the music, the steel pan, when you see the mokojambi and all of that culture in all of its vibrance. And for everyone who may not be from the Caribbean, when I talk about the mokojambi, I talk about the people who are on the stilts, the stilt walkers, we call them the mokojambi in the Caribbean. Okay, when you see all of that, oh my God, it's absolutely, absolutely amazing. Amazing. You feel so much pride, no matter where you live, that, oh my God, this is us. We know this place. We know these people. We know these flags. We know all of it. So I'm going to start with all of the amazingness, and then we're going to do some chin checking. Okay? Some chin checking. Let's start with the amazing. Let's continue with the amazingness of it all. Okay? Then let's talk about the food that we saw. OMG. Again, most of the food we can tell you all about it. The fresh fish that we know so well. And let me tell you a little secret that you may not know. The balls that Dr. Wendy referenced and gave that question to Stacy, who is killing it, by the way. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. Stacy is everything and more. But let's just move on. Okay? The balls that Stacy was talking about. I can bet any amount of money that those were codfish balls. Okay, those were codfish balls. It's a delicacy that all Caribbean people know and absolutely love. It's made from codfish and it's fried, deep fried, all of that. It's delicious. I think that's what Wendy was talking about with the balls when she threw the question to Stacy. Stacy had to clutch her pearls. Okay. Do you some balls? Oh my God. Okay. So the food, seeing all of the food is more amazingness, more magic. And us as Caribbean people who are able to recognize the food, it gives us so much joy, so much pride, and we love it. We love it when other people see it and they see us. We love it. Now, here's something else that is part of the amazingness of it all. That trip that the cast took to the home that is dedicated to Alexander Hamilton. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. To see, again, the recognition of someone who has been such a pillar, such a force of American history, be recognized in that way on the island that he was born, and to see it being captured by this franchise, The Real Housewives of Potomac. 10 out of 10. Love it, love it, love it some more. And it is part of bringing the culture of the Caribbean to the rest of the world. And we want more of it. Love to see it. Thank you for that piece. The producers did an excellent job of including that piece to show you how the Caribbean continues to be in the forefront of American culture. Okay. And this, by the way, is part of the reason why I even started doing The Caribbean Immigrant. It's because I want to take us out of the backdrop, out of the background, where we're almost like a painting in the back, and bring us into the foreground and talk about who we are, what we do, how we've influenced this big world culture, and to bring that to the front burner. Okay, that's part of the reason why we're even doing the Caribbean immigrant, so people can know who the hell we are. Okay, now all of that was part of the amazingness of it all, and we bow down to the producers of the Real Housewives of Potomac, who saw the need to go to a Caribbean island. And that small, tiny Caribbean island of Nevis became such a huge part of the season of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, now we've cleared up the amazingness of it all. We got some chin check for some of you. Okay, let's chin check some things, because I think that some people need to know some things, especially coming from someone who was born and raised in the Caribbean. Okay? The thing that here in the United States people call shade, for example, shade, we just call it straight talk. This is just Caribbean straight talk, like all day long. It's, who knew it was shade all along? This is generally how we in the Caribbean speak, very freely, very openly, very frankly. I'm going to check you in 2.5 seconds, real quick. Now, let's chin check the Real Housewives of Potomac cast, one by one, who did not get some things right, and some other people too. Now, let's start with the name of Nevis. Now, this was not directly on the Real Housewives of Potomac, but it came up on some other recaps of the Real Housewives of Potomac, talking about Nevis and the cast in Nevis. Nevis is a 4-letter word. It's not that hard. May I say it again? Nevis is 5 letters, Nevis, 5 letters in the word Nevis. It's very easy to say. Nevis. Not Nevis, not anything else. It is Nevis. If you can say Oklahoma, if you can say Mississippi, your ass can say Nevis. It's not that hard. And it is disrespectful. It is disrespectful when people do not say the name of your country correctly and shrug it off as if it means nothing. As if it means nothing. No one says, is it America? Is it America? Is it? No one says that. And if someone said that, they would be checked. They would be checked. Get it straight. Get the name right. It shows that you care about the place. It shows that you care about the culture. It shows that you care about the country. And here's what we have found as Caribbean people. When other people from big countries come to the Caribbean, they feel as if they do not need to get the name of the country correct. Well, I'm here to tell you that you do. You do. No one goes to any island of Hawaii and get the name wrong and shrug it off. No one does that. You can say Honolulu. Your ass can say Nevis. Nevis. It's not that hard. Okay? Point number 1. Get the name of the country correct. We care, and you should care too. Now, let's talk about the fact that Nevis is part of a federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and it is an entire country. with representation at the United Nations. It is a whole country. Okay? And for a housewife to say, well, I think it's part of Bahamas. I think it's part of Barbados. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay? Ashley, get your facts straight, Darby. Get your facts straight. Nevis is not in another country called Bahamas. Bahamas is a country by itself, by the way, made up of several tiny islands. It is a separate country from Nevis. Barbados, you should know because it produced the biggest Caribbean immigrant of them all, the queen of everything. Her name is Rihanna. It's a separate country from Nevis. So Nevis is not inside of Barbados. Get it straight. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And again, as someone who was born and raised in the Caribbean, now living in the United States as a proud American, I am telling you that it is time to show some respect to the countries that give you some pleasure, even if it is only for vacation. You need to get it straight. As a matter of fact, let me say this. The country that people see only as a vacation where you go to sit under the sun, under some coconut tree, drink a pina colada and all of that. There are hardworking people, there are governments, there are structures, and the whole nine yards. So to treat it as if it does not matter whether you know that it is not part of a whole entire other country, we care. And I say once again, Ashley Messy Darby, get it correct. Okay? Nevis is a country by itself. Get it straight. Now, let's talk about, let's talk about Miss Angel, the new housewife who cannot decide whether she wants to be part of the group or not, whether she's happy or not, whether she is going to be a badass or not. Miss Angel, coming to the Caribbean with camouflage, sis, you just have to do the most basic of research. Just go on Google, quick, real fast, and you can see that you cannot bring camouflage into the Caribbean islands. And this goes for Nevis, St. Kitts, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago. Wherever you go across the Caribbean, it is pretty much standard. Plus, we know that you got information ahead of time from production telling you what you can and cannot bring, what you can and cannot do on the island of Nevis. Okay? Camouflage, again, a perspective that you will get from someone who was born and raised in the Caribbean and who knows the workings of the Caribbean, because I used to be a journalist. Not like Portia, a real actual journalist. No, like seriously, for real. Like being a journalist, news director, like the whole 9 yards, leading newsrooms, the whole thing. A real journalist I used to be. Not like Portia. Okay? Not like Portia. A real journalist. So I used to be a journalist. So I know a lot of the mechanisms of the Caribbean. Camouflage is reserved for the armed forces in the Caribbean exclusively. The police and any army in the Caribbean are the only people, the only organizations, the only entities who are to wear camouflage. Whether you like it or not, it's not a fashion statement in the Caribbean. It is part of the uniform of the armed forces, exclusively. And we're not going to debate here whether this makes sense to you or not. These are the rules of the road in the Caribbean. Just like everybody has, everywhere they go, every country has its own rules, has its own regulations, has its own laws, so too does the Caribbean. And they are not to be flouted, especially when you got production notes. Especially when you got production notes. And no one cares that it is a backpack that is some, brand name backpack. No one cares. You are not to bring camouflage. You are not to wear camouflage in any way, shape, or form. And that's part of the laws of the Caribbean. We understand that. We give respect to the armed forces in the Caribbean. And so we want other people to respect that as well. Okay, Miss Angel? Get it together. Get it together. Pick a lane, pick a side, pick a mood, pick a posture, pick a character, pick something. Okay, Miss Angel? And stay there for 5 minutes, at least. At least. Moving on. Let's continue with the chin checking around here. Let's go to the head bully in charge. Okay? The head bully in charge at the Real Housewives of Potomac. Giselle. After we've seen all the amazingness and we see the colors and the flags and the yacht and all the niceties, and she says, "We are at Nevis." Sis, no. You're not at Nevis. You're in Nevis. In. And it makes a difference. Again, no one says you're at Manhattan, which is an island. No one says that. No one says we're at Honolulu, which is an island. No one says that. No one says we're at Fiji. No one says that. But you go to a tiny Caribbean island and you talk about we're at Nevis? No, you're not at Nevis. You're in Nevis, sis. You're in Nevis. Get it together. Get it together. The things that you do not serve up to the big countries, the big economies, don't serve it up to us. We don't appreciate it one bit. And we say, "No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please and thank you. Get it together. Give us the same amount of regard and respect that you give to Manhattan. Okay? Just letting you know. The head bully in charge. The head mean girl in charge over there at the Potomac franchise. Even if we're from the Caribbean, we see you. And these are behaviors that we teach our children every day and coach them not to do, not to be a part of, not to lead. But here we are. Here we are with a franchise that gives it to us all day long. And we're here for it. We're here to see 50-something-year-old women, 40-something-year-old women want to be part of the in crowd. Okay? Sit at the cool girls table. We're here for it. Keep going. Now, here is what I'm going to file under. Who told them that was okay? I'm going to file this piece under who told them that was okay. We know that the Real Housewife franchise is all about drama. We know that. Okay? Mostly we're here for it. Some of it is petty AF. Forget all that. Mostly we're here for it. But when you go to a country, regardless of how small it is, it's a country with representation at the United Nations and a vote at the United Nations, just like everybody else. When you go to a country and you are given the full extent of that country's culture, okay? You're no longer in the United States. You go to a restaurant and the owner, Mr. Sunshine, himself comes to you because you know what? He recognizes what you bring, not only to the island, but to his restaurant, and gives you all of that Caribbean love, where we're overly affectionate, we're extra feely, we're extra touchy, we're extra everything. And you get that, and you turn it into a drama that the person wants you. Mr. Sunshine wants you, and your fiance is in a whole entire, he's on shaky ground. Ooh, because Mr. Sunshine wants you. And then, that's not even the worst part. Miss Kiana, KK, okay, the newbie, one of the newbies, which for the most part, we like Kiana, for the most part. But don't come to Nevis, ma'am, and talk about Mr. Sunshine has only 2 teeth and 2 dreads. Excuse me? Excuse me? After you were given all of that Caribbean hospitality and respect and honor and regard, that's what you turn around and say to the world about someone who showed you that kind of respect? No. Disrespectful with a capital DIS. Disrespectful. Disrespectful to the highest degree that you can sit there and say that about someone who gave and showed all of you. Someone is always going to have a favorite, okay? It happened to be the person, by the way, who's not the housewife, interestingly enough, is the favorite of Mr. Sunshine. You talking about 2 dreads and 2 teeth? Girl, you better get yourself together and get some respect when you come to the Caribbean and you are given that Caribbean, very Caribbean love. Okay? When you get that, you better get yourself together and get some respect for someone who showed you respect. Miss Kiana, thank you. I know that this is all about drama, and you want to play it up for the camera and be in the confessional talking shit. But do not disrespect a human being for the thrill of it. No. No. I felt disrespected. I felt disrespected for Mr. Sunshine. And I know how these people are. This is how we are. You're gonna come to our place and we're gonna show you all the love that there is. My uncle owns a hotel restaurant in Dominica. And when you come to the place, he's going to hug you harder than any wrestler. Not because he wants you, just he's saying, welcome, thank you for coming. We love having you. What else can we do for you to show you how much we appreciate you giving us your time and your business? That's all it is. Sit all the way down, sis. And hold that disrespect for the other housewives. Got it in for you. Just hold it. Reserve it for them. Okay? That's what I have to say for the recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac from a Caribbean perspective, giving you a perspective that only a Caribbean person can. A real, born and bred Caribbean gal. Okay? Get it together. We saw all of the minivans. That's how we roll in the Caribbean. Okay? We saw all of it. And we are here for it. And one more time, we are thankful, grateful that these franchises can recognize and see what we bring to the world. But don't test the Caribbean with disrespect. Just don't do it, Tal. Tal. Okay? Everybody, take note. Thank you. And thank you for joining us on this special edition of The Caribbean Immigrant, the recap of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay? After watching all the episodes of the 3-part girls trip in the island of Nevis. I am Kamala Aaron, and I thank you so much for pulling up to The Caribbean Immigrant, and I'll see you next time.